Okay, so today's book highlight, ooh, it's jiggly. I'm going to show you guys about our Lift the Flap question and answer books. I got a couple in that unboxing that I did yesterday, and Sydney and I have read both of the ones we got, What Are Germs and What Is Poop, and I've actually never seen her quite as interested. And I know she loves all the Usborne books. She loves learning. She's 4 years old. She'll be 5 in October. But she was genuinely interested in the answers to the questions in these books. So I'm going to show you how they work. There's a couple different levels. We're going to start at the very beginning one. Lift the Flap, very first questions and answers. So I told you I have What is Poop and What Are Germs. I highly recommend these two for the toddler preschool age, because I'm telling you, this especially is going to tell them why it's so important to do things that their moms and dads and teachers tell them to do, like wash their hands and cover their mouth when they sneeze. And like we just got puppies, so when they pick up the poop, how they have to wash their hands afterwards. And they go together really well, because this one's talking about poop and there's references to poop in this one, so of course they love the poop. But I'm telling you, the questions, so it starts just asking what germs are. Talking about bacteria and how different bacteria cause colds versus flus. And then where do they live? So you're talking about like not touching the toilet seat, that they're on your shoe. My kids put their shoes on my couch all the time, and I said, stop putting your dirty shoes on my couch, and they don't understand why. It answers it right here. How there's germs in the kitchen. How germs enter your body. How do they spread? So with cuts and with bugs and with sneezing. And all of these are flaps. We opened every single one of these today. How does your body fight the germs? So we talk about if you get a cut, how it makes a scab. And if you get them in your eyes and your mouth, it flushes out with tears and spit. And if they get in your nose hairs catch them. And if they get in your blood, it talks about white blood cells. This is such a great book for kids to learn about germs. Why we get shots, how we get vaccines, and how medications, once you get sick, can help you. And then over here, how other places medicines come from, like plants and animals and mold. And then the last one is how to stop germs. And it's just reiterating those things like washing your hands and, using a tissue and throwing your germs away. So the poop is kind of along the same lines, but literally just goes page by page talking about the different kinds of poop and what different poops look like. At the end, there's actually a little kind of a match game almost. So once you read the book and you kind of see what different animals' poop looks like this one, we were like, what? How much poop does an elephant make? Good grief, Sydney was like, what? And how, like, hippos, and I know we saw this at the zoo once, how they kind of scatter their poop. Just interesting. And then how poop goes through the pipes and where it goes after it gets in the septic tank. What you can do with poop. And it's pretty honest, because it says how, dung beetles use poop and that kind of stuff. And then you kind of have to identify who's making which poop based on the picture. So it's kind of fun to guess. Little ones like this one. I didn't know this one either. Square-shaped poop. A wombat. Really cute. Both of these are $12.99. The next step up is the first questions and answers. So that was very first questions and answers. This is first questions and answers. These are all $14.99. I have how do I see, why do we need bees, how do flowers grow, and what makes it rain. Same kind of thing, but for a little bit older audience. My 4-year-old likes these also. The very first is a little more basic, but still great information, and she really enjoyed it. But this just goes a little bit more into detail. When do raindrops appear? Where is the sun? Do all rainbows have the same stripes? How can I make a rainbow? How hot is the sun? What makes sunsets orange and red? Why is it colder in the winter? Why does lightning flash? Why do you see lightning before you hear thunder? How far away is the storm? Where does the wind come from? Really great information about weather in this one. And the other ones, same kind of thing, just based on what topic you're most interested in. Again, these are $14.99. And then the last one's for the oldest audience, elementary age probably. And I think there's a couple that I don't have here, but questions and answers about space. See, this is a bigger size book. Here's the one I just showed you. And then the very first. So you can see they get a little bit bigger as the they get a little more advanced as well. So questions and answers about space, about time. This one I was flipping through earlier, and it's great. When did people start telling the time? So it's kind of based into who, what, when, where, why. All of these are. And you see at the top of the page, it says why. Some of the questions on here. Why do we have leap years? Why are some people always late? Why do some clocks have bells? Every single question is a flap. And again, some of these are flaps within a flap. What is a timeline? What did people do before clocks? This one I thought was interesting. What's another way of saying this? 500 years ago. And they say the 16th century. A century is 100 years. Each year has its own number. And then it has the King of England became king in 1509. These are just so cool. How? How does a sundial work? How long does it take to boil an egg? How long does it take to train to be a doctor? Yes or no? Do all countries celebrate the New Year? Will time go on forever? You do have to ask yourself about some religious beliefs like creation versus Big Bang Theory in some of these books. And for those of you who don't believe in one or the other, these are great. They go more on the Big Bang Theory, science-based versus religion. And they open up great conversations for you to talk about, well, this is what this book says, and this is what some people believe, but this is not necessarily what we believe based on what your beliefs are. Our family loves the belief system in these books, but questions and answers about science. I don't think Zoe and I, these are more my 8-year-old's age, although she'd probably even like the little ones. Why do astronauts float? Why don't polar bears freeze? Why does sugar dissolve but sand doesn't? Where can I discover a dinosaur? Where do scientists get their ideas from? Who invented all of these different things? Who discovered all of these different things? So that one is questions and answers about science. Questions and answers about dinosaurs for all your kiddos who love dinosaurs. That's a great one. About animals. All kinds of animals in this one. Why are hedgehogs prickly? Are there animals on other planets too? What does a kangaroo keep in its pouch? Tissues? A phone? It's a baby, known as a joey. And then it gives you a little blurb about that, the baby joey. Which bird has the longest wings? These are just so cool. And we just started reading these again, so I was like, I had to show them to you. The other one I have is Lift the Flap questions and answers about the world. So, those are the Lift the Flap questions and answers. There's a lot more Lift the Flap books that aren't this style of question on the outside, answer underneath. And a lot of those have more flaps. They don't tell a story, but they're also not a question and answer. They're just kind of like a reference or a discovery kind of book. But I wanted to highlight these today, and if you guys have any questions or want to see anything again, let me know.